Alright, so today's video is actually for like extremely early players. I'm talking like level 40 and below. This is a video I would have never normally thought of doing, but I have a friend that I recruited recently to also play this game. And yeah, they had some questions, so then it got me thinking, hey, that's a video idea. So, let's just get into it. The very first thing that you're going to want to make sure you're trying to fulfill each day is your dailies. So you just go to the objectives over in the lower right corner, and then you see your list of dailies. My list of dailies is much longer than yours will be because, well, I'm not a new player. When you first start playing this game, you don't have this many. You only have, I don't know, how many are here? You have much less, but still, you want to complete all these because, as you see on the side, you get rewards. Do the 6 battles, you get that. You get that. You get that. You get that. Like, it gives you stuff. And then if you complete them all, what do I get for completing them all? You know, you get this little bundle of stuff. It's not fantastic, but you might as well get it. It's basically free. You're just playing the game, and you get these rewards for free for playing the game. So it makes sense to do it. Now the second thing you're going to want to worry about, well, I guess this would technically be the first. That's just the secondary objective, is to complete all your dailies. The main objective is going to be, you got these light side battles here, and then there's also the dark side battles. So when you first start playing the game, the light side battles are what you have access to. You don't get access to the dark side battles until, I'm not sure when, maybe like level 15, level 20, something like that. But anyhow, you're going to want to at least complete tiers 1 and 2, normal and hard. Normal's much easier, and then there's hard as well. But you're going to want to complete those, especially for the hard. You have to do normal to be able to unlock hard. But here's the thing. You have all these characters here. These are shards that you can farm for. I know a couple characters that you kind of get right out the gate are all right here in this area. You got Ahsoka, you got Rey, you got Dark Trooper, and you got Kylo. So what you're going to want to do is, per day, since this is one of your dailies, to compete in hard, light, and or dark side nodes, this is a great way for you to farm up your characters and increase their star levels. So you're going to want to at least get these 2 tiers done, because the normal side is where you get the gear from, which you're going to need to increase your characters' gear levels. So let me get into all that now that I'm talking about gear and all this stuff, which may not make sense. So let's see if I can find somebody a little weaker. You know what? Just for the purpose of a demonstration, I'll work on somebody new just so you can see what I'm talking about. Who are we gonna do? Who should I do? Let me think about this. Okay, I guess we can do... Do I have First Order Officer? I have Captain Phasma. I don't have the ship, though, so it kind of doesn't matter. Stormtrooper. First Order Officer. We'll just do Phasma. Whatever. So... Where is she? This is going very poorly. I'm trying to do a demonstration. There we go. Captain Phasma. Okay. So here's all the basics of your characters and how to increase their power and what have you. First off, like I was just talking about, there's the star count down here. 7 stars is the max. So, obviously, the more stars your character has, the more overall potential power that's going to be unlocked. So you're going to want to beef them up. The best course of action is to try to focus on like a few characters at a time, though, because obviously you only have so much energy. You can't be trying to get everybody beefed up at the same time. So just one at a time. Come up with a game plan, and then bang that 7-star onto the next one. That 7-star onto the next one. But anyways, so the first thing, obviously, is level. You're going to want to keep your character at max level as much as you can. So for me, I'm already at level 85, which is the overall max level, so it just goes straight there. But if you're a newer player, say you're at level 10, well, you want it to be level 10. Then when you hit level 11, increase your characters to level 11. Every time you level up, keep your characters right up to that max level. That way then they're as strong as you can possibly have them be in that moment. So now we have, for me, max level. Now you see all this nonsense. It says upgrade. Well, this is gear. This is your gear level. So technically the gear level gets very high. It gets up to gear 13. And then it becomes basically relics. And then there's 9 relics currently in the game. But that's not for a while. For you, just getting to gear 7 is pretty good. That's when you unlock protection. So there's health bars on the characters and then protection. You can see the stats right here. Health, 11,332. Protection, nothing, because I'm still gear 1. But anyhow, say you're working on a character and you need this. Your character doesn't have it. So the plus wouldn't be there. It would just be blanked out. But say you need it. You can just click on that, and then you say find. And now it shows you all the places you can have. So see, like I said before, you're going to want to focus on at least the first 2 nodes, because as you see, it says 2B normal light side. So you can go there and either multi-sim it and get a few of them, or just go to that battle if you wanted to and fight it out until you have the rewards given to you, so that way then you have this slot fulfilled, and then you can equip it and get your character geared up. Also, when you gear up, as you might have just noticed, your character will have more moves unlocked that they can have access to, you know, obviously. Like we just unlocked Fusillade. That wasn't there before, but getting to gear 2 brought us there. As you see, there's a leader ability. That won't unlock until gear 4. So, not only does gearing your character up make them stronger, it opens up more potential, just like getting the stars up. So anyways, for me, this is a bit inaccurate from what you'll see, because I'm just cruising right along, gearing my character up like nobody's business. Here we go. Here's a perfect example. So now I can't go to gear 9 because I need whatever's over here in the middle right. So when I click on here, I see, oh, I need these things. So where can I find those? Okay, there's some here in the Squad Arena store, but I don't have enough currency. There's some in Guild. I don't have enough currency. I could use gems to buy some. I do have plenty enough gems. There's also a game mode called Conquest. You won't see that for a while, but it costs 50 to buy a 5-pack, it shows. I have plenty enough, as I have 390. But, yeah. So there's that. I think I'll just do this just because I have it, a lot of it. So boom, we'll just buy that. And then there you go. See, now I have it. I can upgrade fully. Boop. Again, another situation. Okay, this is a basic part, so I could probably easily get that. Actually, yeah, for the purposes of showing this, let's do that. So I go into here, and for me, I can sim. You could probably sim as well, but now this is actually a perfect opportunity, because then I can talk about simming. You don't ever want to do the max amount like this. I could go crazy and just say 18 sims. Let's do it. But the thing is that I've noticed is if you do lower sims, you actually end up getting a lot more better results. If I say 4 spins right now, see, I got 6 pieces. Now, if I did the full 18, yeah, I might have gotten more, but maybe it would be only, say, 11 pieces. Well, in the grand scheme of things, the proportionality of that 4 to 18, that's 4 times as much. So I should have gotten 24 of those, where maybe I would have only gotten 11, like I said. So keep that in mind as well. When you're trying to farm stuff, go for lower spins, maybe even 3. The more common the piece is, the lower amount of spins you have to worry about to actually get that amount that you're looking for fulfilled. Anyways, also, when you craft things, it costs money. So so for me, I'm pretty loaded in my second account. I got 289 million currency, so I'm not worried. But for you, there's a lot to keep in mind. First off, this would have to be crafted. That's $2,750 right there. You're gonna need 2 of those. That's $4,000 to do both of them. Then the overall to craft all these pieces, another 2,000. So this is like 10,000 right here. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. You might have all the pieces, but you might not have the currency. So anyways, so that's kind of 2 pieces right there. You want to focus on the stars, 3 pieces. Focus on the stars, focus on the level, and focus on the gear. Now, there's these moves over here. The moves you can upgrade with, I don't know what these are called. The mats. What do they call these? Ability mats? Again, for me, I can breeze right through this. I don't have to worry about strategizing. But, whoops, I didn't mean to go back. But as a new player, you would need to strategize to figure out what you think is the best route and how you want to approach laying down these move upgrades on your character. But for me, I'm just going to breeze through this because I got plenty enough. I don't have to worry about it. But anyways, at the end of the day, it just comes down to your individual strategy and how you want to approach it, you know. But still, this is also a critical thing. The stronger that you get their moves, obviously the better that these moves will be. Like, look, getting it to level 2, that just gave it plus 5% damage. I put it to 3, now I get plus 15. So now that's 20% more damage than when it was at the base level. Another 5%, now it's plus 25% damage. Now I go to this one, I get a 15% speed down chance in addition. Another 5% damage, like it just keeps stacking, keeps getting this move that much better. So, ba-da-ba. And then fire at will. So this right here is actually what's called a leader ability. Every time you go into battle, you want to make sure that you have a character that has a leader ability. Sometimes leader abilities are very specific, like it might be like for Jedi only, for Sith only, for bounty hunters only it works for. So if you don't have a squad that's full of that type of character, then not everybody's going to get the benefit. But even if it's just your character in the leader slot that's taking advantage of their own leader ability, you're still better off doing it that way, because at least you're getting some kind of boost somewhere, even if it's just one character on your team. Provided that's not the way to do things, you want to make sure your full team is very synergetic. That way then everybody's getting those boosts. But still, you're better off having some kind of leader ability rather than having nothing. Like, let's take, for example, this one. This is Captain Phasma. She's a first order character. Whenever an ally attacks, they have a 12% chance to call a random ally to assist, dealing 30% less damage. So in this case, that's just an ally. It doesn't matter who you are. It could be a light side character, dark side character, anybody. As long as they are on Phasma's team, they gain a 12% chance to call a random ally to assist. So that's good for everybody. But then it says this chance is doubled if the attacking ally is first order. So obviously if you have a full first order team, now that becomes a 24% chance. That just makes it that much better to be using synergy. And then it says if the ally had advantage, they regain it for 2 turns. I'm not entirely sure if that applies to anybody or if that just applies to first order, but if that's anybody, now you're also gaining advantage no matter who's on your team, which basically what advantage means is that your next hit is guaranteed to be a critical hit, which does 150% damage over what it would, over what it normally does. So it's 50% more damage. So that's good too. But anyways, that's just the base level. As we increase this, everything just gets better. See that stat? 18% chance to call a random ally, 20% chance, and it says, it's still doubled if the attacking was first order. I thought it becomes tripled. Yeah, here it is, the Zeta. So what a Zeta is Zetas are challenging. They take a while to get. As you see, I'm sitting at only 10. I was able to breeze right through everything else, but now I'm sitting at only 10 because Zetas are they're more of an, I don't want to say end game, but later game. When you're more closer to level 85, that's when you're going to start worrying about Zetas. But what a Zeta is it really brings like a newfound power to your character, which in turn can really benefit the team as a whole greatly. Like, all along everything was okay. Captain Phasma kept getting those boosts. Oh, they have a 20% potency, blah, 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 this. But now look at what this Zeta does if we lay this down. Minus 15% damage penalty. Triple assist chance for first order instead of only double. First order allies gain advantage for 2 turns at the start of each encounter. Can't be critically hit while they have advantage and gain 20% potency. I mean, that's a whole book right there. Look at everything else. It was just a line. 2%, 15, and then boom. All this extra for that Zeta. So Zetas are super good. But considering they're so difficult to get when you're early game, or even once you hit 85, they take a while. So you really got to strategize on what kind of synergies and squads and teams you're working on. Maybe there's a certain legendary character you want to go after, like Emperor Palpatine or Grandmaster Yoda. So then you're going to want to focus on those characters getting their Zetas because it's going to benefit you in that event. So when it comes to Zetas, don't just wildly lay them down on anybody. Make sure that you put thought into it and you make a good choice. I mean, like, for somebody like me, in my main account, yeah, I have so many Zetas that once I level up a character, I can lay down a Zeta and not think about it. But in this account, I gotta think about it. Like, yes, this would be cool to put it on Phasma, but maybe when I get that Zeta, the 10, the 20 that I need to complete a full Zeta, I might not put it on her. I might not go on her for a while, because other characters that I'm working on might need the Zeta, and I'll deem them to be more important. Anyways, there's also another boost that's, as you can see, it's kind of faint right here, but it says in Territory Wars, yada 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 yada. That is called an omicron. And omicrons are like a Zeta 2.0. They bring some of them can bring extreme, ridiculous, over the top powers. However, they're only used in specific game modes, so it's like your character doesn't become super OP all the time. It's just sometimes. So the game modes that we have are Territory Battles, Territory Wars, and Grand Arena. All of those you're not going to see for quite some time. But they do help out massively in those game modes. Zetas are always. You can use your Zeta anywhere. It doesn't matter. But the Omicrons are just specific per game mode. But, as you see, this was a book. Well, this is a whole anthology. Anyways. So now there's that. Now there's another piece to the puzzle over here. I don't think this is something you're going to see in the first 40 levels, but it's mods. So what mods are basically just these pieces right here that, like let's just take a look at this one. It'll give Phasma 0.63% more offense as the main boost, but then there's secondary boosts. You get 2.23% potency and 0.6% health gain. So they basically manipulate her stats. So right now she's kind of sitting just at base stats. This is what the game gives her. But then you can customize this based on whatever mods you put on her. You can mess with her health, make it really high, or the protection really high. You can make her speed faster, or critical damage better, or potency better. Anything based on how you want to mod her. But like I said, I think that's later. I think mods don't open until level 50, so that's not something you have to worry about right now. It's just something I'm putting out there that you will need to think about it when the time comes. Anyhow, let's see. Another thing too you want to make sure that you're doing. Shipments. They have 4 shipments. They used to be right at the top. Now they kind of moved them down, which is weird. But there's 4 shipments that you can buy with regular credits. Just buy them. They come every refresh, so bonus energy, you get new shipments. Anytime there's any type of refresh, there's new shipments, just buy them all. Especially as a new player, those are very handy for you to have. Chances are a lot of them are going to actually help you too. So just get them. Another thing you should get, I don't know if it's available on mine. I didn't know you could buy that. The light side currency and stuff. Huh. Anyways. Well, there's sim tickets. I'm not seeing any, though, in here, just so I can show you what I'm talking about. At this point, at my point in the game, they give you so many sim tickets per day that you end up having a massive stockpile. So they might not be available for me to buy anymore. But when you're a newer player, yeah, when you're a newer player, they have sim tickets that you can buy. And I would recommend that as long as you have the crystals to buy them, just buy all the sim tickets. There's some that I can get 30 crystals. I can get a 20 pack. I think newer players have more options. You have like I think there's 3 options, like a 5-pack, a 10-pack, and a 20-pack or something like that. But just buy them all. Sim tickets are very valuable. They help you out tremendously. Just make sure you're fully strapped with sim tickets all the time. It just makes the game easier for you when you need to, I don't know, complete some kind of a daily. Like, for example, doing these. Say you're farming a character. You're in here on node 1 working on your Ahsoka. And then you can just come in, sim, boom, done. Instead of having to do the battle 5 times. It saves a lot of time. So just make sure you're fully strapped on sim tickets as best as you can be. Another thing. Today is Sunday. So you have every challenge available to you. During the week, there's always just 2. They kind of go down the week. Monday is the same as Thursday, Tuesday is the same as Friday, and Wednesday is the same as Saturday. And then Sunday you get all of them. But make sure you're doing the highest tier that you can and doing all the tiers. And doing all of the challenges. Don't just, because it is one of your dailies. It is right. Finish 2 challenges. So, just for an example, technically I could go in and just be like, oh, I only care about these. I want to increase my character's moves. So I could go in and say 2. And that would give me my daily. But you don't want to do that. There's a lot of good resources in here. So make sure you are capitalizing on that. Complete everything. Do all of them. Do all 3 spins. And make sure you're working on the highest tier that you can. For me, it's obviously max. But as a newer player, maybe you're only at tier 2. But make sure you're in there and doing that. Because it's going to give you the best rewards that you can. And at this point in the game, that's what your focus is. To really, beef your characters up as quickly as possible and as best as possible and all that. So anyways, yeah, this is what you want to see. Completes straight across. Every day, not just Sunday, every day. Make sure you're completing these, doing all of them, not just the 2 to meet the bare minimum requirements for the dailies. Just get everything. You don't have it at first, but you end up unlocking this energy called Cantina. There is a couple things about Cantina for you to know. First off, this is fair game for light side or dark side characters. You can use whatever you want. The light side modes is only light side, dark side modes is only dark side. This, you can use anything. And the other part is, that's pretty cool, is when you do light side or dark side hard battles, you only have so many spins per day. And then you either need to refresh the chances with crystals, or you gotta wait till the next day to be able to try again and farm more shards. In here, you can go all day. You can work on some character, multi-sim, do it all, then bonus energy comes, and same thing. Multi-sim, do it again. There's no restriction on how much you can farm in one area. So, characters that are in the Cantina are actually very fast to farm up, which is pretty awesome. I am right here on Old Ben because I know this is one of your characters that you get in the beginning. And I'd say Old Ben is a decent one to work on and get to 7 stars because he's a tank. And he also has a move that if he gets killed before anybody else, when he goes, he gives everybody on the team a boost. So he's kind of a decent one to have beefed up. He's not so good later in the game. He hits weak and there's better tanks. But in the early game, yeah, he's a good option. So... but yeah, so that's what's up with the Cantina. The other thing, though, is Cantina also has its own store. As you see, I have 681 of this orange currency. Well, that's what you get here every time you do a spin. And then there's Redeem. There's a store. There's stuff in here. It goes for 400 of those currencies. So yeah, you're going to want to work on some characters in here. For me, I would say work on Ahsoka. She's one of your characters that you unlock early in the game, so get her beefed up. But also work on Chopper, because he's part of the Phoenix Squad. You're going to want to work on the Phoenix Squad, because they have super high synergy, and they'll actually help you out incredibly in a game mode called Galactic War. I'm going to make a separate video on that, but the Phoenix's synergy and all that really does massively help you out. So yeah, first focus should be Ahsoka, second would be Chopper. I mean, if you end up having a little stockpile and you have extra currency, you don't know who to use it on, I guess whoever you're feeling, maybe you want to work on Qui-Gon, you want to start a Jedi team or something, but, just make sure you're aware of this currency and use it up. For me, I'm just going to use that because I can put it in the shard shop, and ships give you a little bit more shard currency than characters do. Let's see. What else is pretty critical? Oh, yes. You have Arena. So Arena is a mode where you kind of fight other players and you just work up the ranks. Obviously, the better your rank, the better your prize bracket will be. So they start you super low. You're at like 10,000 something, and you can work your way up. So that's what I'm saying is to keep your characters as beefy as you can. Every time you level up, level your characters up, because then that makes your team that much stronger. You know, you get ability mats, lay them down on somebody or a bunch of somebody's, you know, spread them out, get a bunch of moves beefed up. Focus on the gear, get your character's gear going. That way then you're more viable here. You're also more viable in general, but in here. One thing I would say, try not to rely too much on auto. I rely on auto now because, you know, it's like whatever. You know, I'm sitting at rank 741. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But auto is surprisingly dumb. You'd think it would be really smart because it's the AI, it's the game. You'd think the developers would make the AI good. No. The AI is horrible. They choose the wrong move every time. They go after the dumbest targets. It's not the right way to go. You want to be in control. That way then you can make sure that what you need to have happen is happening, and you can secure that win. The other thing is, I wish I had a crew or a team that I could show you this on. Whenever possible, if there's a team that you're going up against that has like I don't know, tanks in it, like you see a Chewie or you see a Old Ben or something, try to avoid them. If you have a character that can inflict a stun, such as Kylo Unmasked with Halt, as you see, and stun them for 2 turns, then do that on the tank. You don't really want to focus on the tank because tanks aren't that powerful overall. They're just annoying. They have a lot of health and defense, but they're kind of just annoying. So you don't want to get gated behind working on a tank while you have like you know, you don't want to get gated behind working on a tank when you have like these other strong characters laying down damage on you. So avoid them as much as you can and go after characters that are like attackers. So basically the best way to understand who an attacker is, especially early game, is don't go after somebody that's a healer. The healers are Talia, Luminara, and Dooley, and Jedi Consular. Avoid them for the time being. Go after the ones like Luke, Anakin, Ahsoka, those characters. You want to take them out because they're going to put big damage on you, and you don't want that. The other thing is, like I said, avoid the tanks. So you want to take out the attackers, then do the healers, because you don't want to get stuck behind a tank and you almost have the thing dead, and then the healers are like, oh, by the way, you're fully healthy. Then that's like, wow, I put all that work into whittling down your health for nothing. Another one is, and then at the end, work on those tanks. One character that I would say, though, is a good option to avoid that's not a tank would be if you ever come across a Dooku. The only reason is because Dooku he counterattacks everything. So that actually could be kind of annoying. If you're like, oh, I don't want to go after that tank, but then you're going after Dooku and he's over there, oh, I'm just going to keep counterattacking everything. Then you basically want to try to be as strategic as you can to get it down to be 1v1 when it comes to him. That way then there's no character supporting him, and there's nobody else able to put damage up on you while you're trying to put damage on him. You know, because you want it to be 5-on-1, not 5-on-2, if you follow what I'm saying. Typically, do the tanks last, unless there's a Dooku. Then Dooku's last, and make the tanks second to last. Anyways, in here, you have the store. For the most part, unless you want to spend money, I would say none of this really matters. Sometimes they'll put like a free calendar in here, but they make it known. They do a stupid pop-up thing, so they make it known. But there's the free Bronzium data cards. Not only do you get, I think you get 10 free ones a day, and they refresh every 10 minutes, but as you play the game, you get ally points, which allow you to buy more. So, again, you don't want to let those stack up. It is annoying. I wish they had like a multi-sim function, but you're going to want to make sure that you're using that currency and buying as many Bronzium data cards as you can, because it can give you a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff that can come out of these. You can get a full-on character unlock. You can get, if you already have unlocked a character, they might give you the equivalent amount of shards to unlock that character, which is only going to help you when it comes to starring your characters up. There's also gear, and as a new player, gear is very valuable. Everything's good. Like at my point in the game, a lot of this gear doesn't matter to me because I have a ridiculous stockpile, but when you're new, everything's great. So make sure you're doing that. It's free stuff, and it's a lot of good free stuff you can get. Galactic Battles. This is where Galactic War is, but there's also that mode Conquest, like I mentioned earlier. Conquest isn't for a while. I don't think you can have access to that until you're level 85. Galactic War, though. This is something critical you're going to want to make sure you're doing every day as well. I'll get into this in a separate video. I just figured I'd address it here, just because this is like that intro guide. What else can I really touch base on? I'm trying to think, like level 40 and under, roughly, is what I'm going for. Oh, your events. That's another thing to keep in mind as well. The events. There's a lot, again, there's a lot of good stuff that comes in here. As a new player, you have a lot of events that focus on teaching you how to use, you know, this squad or that squad. You know, Rebels, First Order, etc., Empire. But, you also might see other events that give you, like the credit heist, where you can get money, or currency, I mean, when you complete it, or the training droids, which obviously you need to get your characters leveled up. So just make sure you're checking in there. A lot of times there should be a little icon that says, you know, how many events are available, 2, 3, or whatever. But just make sure you're checking in there and doing the events. What else can we add? Don't go too crazy with your crystals. Crystals are very valuable. I like to use my crystals to do energy refreshes. So like per day, I personally like to go in and like this. You get 3 bundles, bing, 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 that at 50 crystals, and then the next one's 100. So I don't do that. I like it because I'm in the process of farming characters. So I'll come through here and I'm like, okay, I'm working on you. Let's get the full spins on that. I come over here, I'm working on you, get the full spins on that. Come over here, work on you, get the full spins on that. So that's why I do it. For you as a new player, well, there's a couple options. One, you could also work on farming a bunch of characters up. That wouldn't be a bad choice. But you could also get bonus and, you know, fill up your energy like that just for the purpose of gear. Have tons of energy and then just go look through your characters list and see who you need to gear up and find the gear pieces they need and just go to town farming. But otherwise, I try to stay away from like buying random stuff in the shop that costs crystals. Again, for you, buying the sim tickets would be a good option, but for me, I don't need them, so I'm not gonna waste it on that, and I don't really waste my crystals on anything else. Sometimes I will waste them on a piece of gear, like because I'm working on relics, so it gets a lot harder when you get to the relic status. But otherwise, kind of just, I don't know, keep your gems on standby. Ships, that doesn't open until about level 50. So we don't really need to talk about that yet. Did I go over everything? I hope so. Well, I tried to make sure I covered everything. If there's anything I missed, and if you did actually watch through this video to get some pointers and tips and what have you, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and either A, I can just directly answer you there, or B, if I feel it's a big enough topic, I can just make a whole other video and, you know, go into it. And obviously you would see this stuff, so you could kind of follow along with me. And so, yeah, I guess that's it for this one. Thanks for checking this out. I hope this helped some people out, and until next time, I said see ya.